Oh my god. Oh, Jesus. Here we are. Hey, whoa. No. On the video. On the video. Welcome back, everybody. How are we doing today? Hope you like the intro. Hope you like it. I know I was gonna put out videos over the weekend stuff, but I just kind of gave up. I gave up. I got disillusioned with Raid. I don't care really that much. I spent some money this morning for some fucking reason and got fuck all. So that's just what we're doing. But today in this video, we are going to be talking about the winners and the losers of the Hydra changes. Let's get into it. We'll actually just go and we'll look at my teams here quick. Pretty close to taking first, Neve. And we'll just kind of go over it. We'll look at my Nightmare team here first. Toshiro is still very good, very decent. I would say he's still up there as one of the top non-max HP nuker damage dealers. But sadly, not really sadly, actually, it's a good thing that these champions, Acrisia, Marius, Husk, Royal Guard, Wallmaster Atharion, these guys are back. They're back in a big way, and it's a good thing. So the reason that the max HP guys are actually back in Hydra is because when you decapitate a Hydra head, the health of the decapitated head is double the health of what it is when it's not decapitated. Okay, so guess what? All your max HP damage dealers are dealing double damage now. So on Nightmare, Acrisia is smacking for like over 1 million on the head of Suffering, I think it is, the tankiest one, because that one used to be 514,000 and now it's like 1.28 million. Okay, it's a big thumbs up for that, right? It's a good thing, because these guys really they fell out of the meta. I mean, they were good, but they weren't amazing as they originally were because of the trended teams, because of Terras, because of stuff like that. But honestly, Acrisia still here. Toshiro still good. Sadly, I'm going to take my Toshiro and my Lady Mikage. I'm going to move them to Brutal. I'm going to bring my second Acrisia back to Nightmare. And this is probably going to be filled with a Cardiel, to be honest, or a Grand Oak Podridge. It's one of the two. Probably Cardiel, I'd think. But Podridge is really good too. Podridge is just, well, I would probably do Cardiel because Toshiro and all of them, they need the buffs, and it's probably better left on Brutal. So for my second team, Garl is amazing. I didn't realize how good she was. I was kind of unimpressed originally with her A1s in her second form. And then as the fight went on, I started to realize the more she kept attacking, when she would come in with everybody with Crimson Haze, the more I was like, oh, this is going to be some big numbers. And it was. But Thor, man, what a legendary. This guy still winning. I mean, he would be doing even more damage if we didn't have these nerfs going on, or whatever you want to call it with Hydra, the fix, air quotes. I ran them, though. Thor, to really maximize his potential, you really need to run him in a double ally attack team. So that's why I have Cardiel and Podridge going on. You really want him to proc his passive a ton, okay? And he just, his A2 hits so damn hard. It's crazy. It's crazy. But these are the damage dealers that I am saying are winning big time here. Marius and Acrisia, this is on my hard team. I did try to do my trended team, and it did initially do a lot of damage. I think within the first 3 minutes, Trenda did 64 million damage. But then I just kind of got disillusioned with it because it fell off. It was going to fall off. The head spawning with the buffs that you can't deal them damage. I do want to kind of talk about some champions I'm really sad that are not really hitting the mark right now, and this just might be user error. This just might be me, but let's kind of talk about it. One of my favorites, who I did make a video on, is Quintus the Triumphant. I love this guy, but because the heads have a separate health bar that can be depleted and then force them to automatically respawn, Quintus's damage, just like a lot of the others, but mainly Quintus himself, his damage has been substantially reduced. I tried running him in that. His main damage comes from his A1, and I would argue, I think it's his, yeah, it's his A3 and his A1 have the best multipliers. And the reason for the A1 being really good is because you can hit the head 4 times when it's decapitated. I mean, even when it respawns, as soon as that buff's gone, you can hit him 4 times. And that's why I have Quintus and Cruelty, because he stacks up the decreased defense really fast with a 4-hit A1. So he just comes in there and bop, 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 bop. And I mean, let's look at the Cruelty here. How much does he decrease it by? 2% per hit. So right there, we're reducing it by 8% on his first attack. And that's not including all the ally attacks that gets brought in and all that other stuff. And it's up to a max of 30% for him, right? And it's 15% for bosses. So he comes in twice, essentially, and then they can't be decreased anymore by Cruelty on him, right? But Quintus's damage got substantially reduced because he used to be able just to wail on a decapitated head and stack up those numbers, baby. Stack them up. But, I mean, he's not awful. He's still really good. He's not as good as he was. And I did run multiple teams while I was working this last week, trying to get him to work again, and I couldn't. But what I did find out, I'm pretty sure about this. This here, his A2 ignores the Hydra's buff, okay? Because damage inflicted by the skill cannot be decreased by enemy passive skills or masteries except the passive skills of bosses. Damage inflicted by this skill cannot be increased by either this champion's masteries or ally passive skills except when attacking bot. Never mind. So I was wrong. I was wrong, actually. Boom, wrong. Hey, wrong. Right there. Edit it in. I'm wrong. So it is decreased. Never mind. But yeah, Quintus really fell off here. Another guy that's good, but just kind of fell off. And I was saying his praises since the beginning. It's Varl. Varl the Destroyer. Again, I have him in Cruelty. I used to have him in Soul Reap, but just not so much anymore. He's just into throw together gear now for me. I still really do like him quite a bit because he brings 2 essential debuffs to the entire fight. He brings weaken and decrease attack. This is going to push up your damage and decrease the damage you're going to take. And with the fight lasting only 1,000 turns now, you really do feel the effects. I'm not really too concerned for endgame players when the Devour counter gets bigger and bigger and bigger, like the debuff on, or the buff or whatever on the boss, the green bar. Because for people that are, you know, still using like Acrisias and stuff, that's not bad. It's not too bad. They take care of it. Again, the Head of Suffering really puts a damper on it though, because it, you know, Acrisia and Marius, Royal Guard, and Husk, they are doing enemy max HP AoE damage, and the Head of Suffering decreases that damage, and you notice it. You notice it a lot. Again, Acrisia, they are back in business, baby. Yeah. Good for them. It makes me happy. Because I was really getting bummed because I was like, fuck, I'm gonna put these bitches in Stone Skin and just run them in Phantom Shogun now. But now I'm not, because they are the tits. Another one that kind of fell off, but not really too bad, is Harima. Harima still does a shit ton of damage. Her damage scaling, because of her defense, and her defense increases by a shit ton. With this skill here, it stacks up to, increases it up to 100%. So she doubles her defense. Okay, so if we're looking at her defense here, 6.669. Pretty sure that was doubles that, but we'll see. But she does do millions and millions and millions of damage. But again, she is outclassed now by the ones that deserve to be, I mean, Acrisias and Marius's. Okay, these guys are still doing really good damage. I've seen a lot of people bring Sulfurion back into the fight. Where'd that dumb lizard go? I love this guy. They've brought Sulfurion back into the fight because of how the heads have worked when they respawn and they get that debuff, or they get that buff, and you're not able to damage them. And sometimes you leave it on full auto and you don't come back around to your Ugos with their block buffs and decreased defense, and then you get fucked, because not only can you not damage the bosses, but then they get Poison Cloud on them, and then you're really fucked. But who's a champion that gets past that right here is Sulfurion, if you have him. Another champion you can use that also gets past it is Tumezia, believe it or not. For some reason, her A2, even though it says attack all enemies and has a 100% chance when booked of placing the HP burn for 3 turns, believe it or not, this doesn't constitute as a hit. She just places it. Okay, it can be resisted, but it's not like You can't weak hit anyways because she's a void legendary. But again, she places this through Poison Cloud. So she's another great one. An amazing damage dealer. Again, I used to run her in Brutal a lot, but not so much anymore. Trying to think. Gnut is actually back in for high stages with his A3. So if you have multiple Gnuts, congratulations. He's going to do a lot of work for you. And that really is the only ones I'm seeing. I assume doing the Venus and the Cupidus combo is still great, where you're just constantly A1ing the entire time. So awesome there. But yeah, but like I said, really it's gone back to the max HP nukers, and that actually makes me really happy because they deserve to have that spot. Because at this point, they're really just dungeon farmers. That's all they are. And then we got this new little toy we summoned today. Carnage, the Anarch. I finished doing his masteries, and I booked him out on his second form because I am actually going to use him in Arena and in Hydra. And hopefully we'll get a showcase out later. I know I said I was going to do another champion showcase over the weekend, but I didn't like how the showcase was going, so I just scrapped it. I was like, nah, I'm just done. I'd rather play Last Epoch and have fun than spend more time in this game and be upset about everything. And if you didn't notice, there's been a wave of high-level accounts that have sold off or completely quit altogether, deleted their account, whatever. We just learned of one that used to be in our clan not too long ago. I'm not going to say his name, but he spent quite a bit of money. Probably more than me. And he decided, because he treated this as an investment, he was done. As soon as the Hydra nerfs happened and all this other stuff, he was like, peace out, I'm out of here. And I can't blame him on that. I really can't. But before we get any further, let's talk about Trunda. Because guess what? She's still really good. She is still really fucking good. People are still running the Trunda team because it still works. It just takes a little bit of finesse, and bada bing, bada boom, you're still doing more damage than most other people. So guess what? I'm going to tell you right now, there's probably another nerf coming. I'm calling it. She is going to get another fucking slap in the ass. And her A2 still hits really hard and gets a lot of the damage. Not as much as before, obviously. And the A3 fucking slaps. And I actually like to see this. I might actually retool her. And I'm wondering what I should put her in for blessings. But she is definitely going to be going back to being an arena nuker because she actually does fucking smack, and she does destroy Stone Skin with her A3 plus cracking roots. This stuff, it's no joke. But again, you might want to put her in some pinpoint because polymorph's a thing, and putting the HP burn on, you're going to get sheeped. It's just how it is. But yeah, that's really all I've got for now, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I know it's kind of a nothing burger video, but hey, here we are. You guys have any questions, concerns, tell me what you want to see down below. But yeah, like I said, just a quick recap. Husks are back. Okay. Royal Guards are back. It's a good time. It's a good time. And yeah, we'll catch everybody in the next one. Bye-bye.